Welcome to episode 3 of The Body is the Map. Now, this is a series that I am going to stick with. I have been guided to come back to this, and I'm super excited to see where it brings me today. So the focus with The Body is the Map today is all about our lymphatic system. I'm diving deep into my own lymphatic system because I am starting a 12-week detox cleanse process, and the first week, the first 10 days, it's all about the lymphatic system. It's all about our drainage pathways and processes. So that is what we are going to meet with today, to dive into today, and also understand the connection with Mother Earth, with Mother Gaia, and where our lymphatic system shows up in the macro with her on this planet. So today's episode is going to be incredible. I am going through this process live. So if my eyes are closed, I'm just deep in my channel. I'm deep in my journey, but just allow and listen to the information. This is also going to be a deep remembrance and activation for you. So let's get into it. Let's journey into my lymphatic system. And let's bring forward the information from the Infinite Soul Records, the Akashic Records, about the lymphatic system, about its role within our body, about the importance of it, about the complications that we are collectively experiencing right now through a lack of co-creation with it, through a lack of knowledge about it right now. And then how that is funneling into the earth, how we are experiencing this on the macro micro level on a day-to-day, and we are wondering why certain processes and things are the way that they are, but it all starts within. It all starts within. So we are going to unravel the depths of our lymphatic system and our drainage pathways today. The first thing that we get to see and we get to understand with this bodily system is that it is so multi-layered, and it's a constant co-creation process. We do the body brushing, we do the rebounding, we focus on it for a period of time, but what I'm being shown is this needs to be implemented into your daily routine. It needs to just become a norm that we start working with this system in our own body, so it starts becoming a more readily functioning process within our biology that can get to the point of working better on itself again, because we have become so stationary, so stagnant in our being collectively, that it doesn't have the momentum, it doesn't have the energy movement, that initial push and drive to keep everything flowing and processing for our body's optimal biological optimization, I'm hearing. This system is really deep rooted in our biology. It's not something that we can just continue to work with on a surface level. We need to start understanding what it represents, the multidimensionality of the lymphatic system, of the drainage pathways, and the reasoning to why they would maybe get blocked in the first place. Because everything within our biology, within our body, is mirroring something back about our consciousness, about ourself. It's working with us all the time. It's in constant co-creation with us, and it never fails us. And this is what I want to say so loudly to everybody listening right now. our biology never fails us, and we never fail our biology in a sense. It is more so this constant biofeedback that we get to experience and listen to and co-create from. So when we decide to work with the lymphatic system and the drainage processes, this is one of the first processes that I'm diving into within this detox experience, but it's actually one of the deepest layers. So when I go to connect with the consciousness of the lymphatic system, I have to take this deep journey, this deep dive into the deep depths of my body, instead of it just revealing itself on a very surface level. What does our lymphatic system mirror? What does it show us? On a very basic level, it's showing us our ability to process and move energy. And what does that mean? It means that when we are met with a life event, we are met with an emotion, we are met with a circumstance, how do we move in that moment? How do we meet it? How do we walk through that process? Do we really attach ourselves to it? Do we attach ourselves to the outcomes? Do we get really stuck in this ideology of being able to control things? Because this is what it's really mirroring us. We can't hold on to something so tight. We can't control things, okay? We have to allow that flow and that movement to naturally occur. And it is one of the things in our biology that works perfectly. It does naturally occur until we no longer let it. So I can really see this collective consciousness dynamic going on with our lymphatic system at the moment that is trying to mirror control to us. Okay, how do we feel about letting go? How do we feel about allowing emotion to move through our body and just meet it and sit with it and let that process to actually flow? How do we meet not being able to know the how or know the outcomes? And do we have this constant inner battle within ourselves to have to figure these things almost out for a full sense of safety or security? Okay, so even though the lymphatic system does not have a direct, I'm going to say, connection really to the root chakra, there definitely feels like you have to see the root chakra. You have to work with the root chakra before you start trying to dive into improving your lymphatic system and drainage pathways. Because if your body doesn't have a baseline of safety, a safety about existing here, a safety about being in your human body, your human vessel, a safety around the experience and the environment that you are participating in on a day-to-day basis, okay? If it doesn't feel safe, well then how can we let go? How can we trust? How can we process? How can we move fluid in our body? Because we are so worried. We are in this almost chronic state of survival that we can't allow the fluids to move. We can't allow the processes to happen and the emotions to flow, because water is memory. Okay, water is the most beautiful vehicle to move memory through our body. So if we are retaining water in a certain area of our body, in a certain area of our being, and we don't have that internal safety to meet it, to process it, to observe it, okay, we are not grounded in the body. We are up here floating, we are rejecting, we are trying to run away from ourselves. There is no amount of rebounding, dry brushing, movement, supplements, minerals that can override your body's natural defense systems. Okay, we we do not have a, I'm going to say, blocked lymphatic system or an underperforming lymphatic system because we are not doing the 10 steps in the morning to get it moving, or we are not taking 15 supplements 3 times a day. No, it is because we haven't build that inner security in our root chakra to actually feel safe to process things, to process the movement of emotion through the water itself. Because sometimes we can't accept what has been or what is currently going on in our life. So we build up this stagnation, we build up these blocks, we create them for ourselves so we can see what areas of our own life we are actually stuck in. And this is the mirror, this is the co-creation that it gives us. So for somebody who's currently going through fluid retention, an underperforming drainage pathways or lymphatic system, what are 3 actionable or tangible steps that they can take today? The first thing that you can do is actively spend time grounding your body. To actively spend time in nature. Focus on your circadian rhythm, okay? Your natural habits around grounding. And the second thing you want to do is then tap into your own inner safety, your own root chakra. What is the balance like here? What are you avoiding in this area? What are you still shying away from that you don't want to see around safety, around support, around being here on earth right now? Because you can't over optimize an experience that you haven't on a soul level accepted yet. And then the third thing you want to do is surrender a little bit of control around your emotions. Okay, control around the natural energy flow of life itself. I keep getting stagnation. And yes, stagnation within how we move on a daily basis. This is important. We want to be moving. But it almost feels like a very multidimensional soul stagnation. Are you listening to those inner pangs within your body? When you get that inspired action come through, are you moving in these areas? Because everything with the lymphatic system, even our drainage pathways, it almost feels like if we are not pushing things up and out, we are not taking the actions, we are not taking forward momentum steps, we are not allowing our emotion to direct us in certain ways. You only need to release so much before you fill it with something else. Okay, when we look at the drainage pathways and the lymphatic system, thank you, this is very interesting. When we look at these 2 systems, we're constantly focusing about releasing. What emotions do we need to release? What is currently held in our body somatically that we need to release? And yes, this is important. But if you're releasing without then filling it up with passion and excitement and your own soul's will for movement, you're just going to reattract the thing that you've just released. So it's like a lot of us are working within this system halfway. Okay, we're releasing, we're removing, but then we're not allowing that soul will, that pang, that passion to create momentum and movement in our life. because we are so fixated on control, we are so fixated on the how and the outcome, that we're not allowing a natural momentum within our biology to move us forward. Because the thing with our lymphatic system is that it needs this co-creation with us to actually move the fluids, to move the energy, to move the system itself in a way. You know, when we compare it to our heart system, let's say, okay, our circuitry system, you know, our circulation. Our heart pumps itself. It's always working in the background. It doesn't matter if we lay in bed for a week or if we're the most active, you know, part of our being, okay? We're exercising, we're moving, we're doing this. Our heart is always working. Yes, it can maybe work a bit slower or more optimal, but it rarely stops. But with the lymphatic system, it needs a bit more momentum from us, okay? We need to be actively working with it, and when it stalls in our body, it's showing us the momentum that we are not participating within ourselves, that we are not getting on board with and moving with ourselves. So, okay, this is how I want to wrap up today's session. I want to give us a little bit of an overview again, because I want you to understand that yes, the releasing, the letting go is a very important aspect within working with our lymphatic system. You know, even the manual touch, the dry brushing, maybe the saunas, these are great steps. But if you ever notice that you're doing it over and over and over again, you're booking in for lymphatic massage every single week for 6 months, that doesn't necessarily need to be the case. You need to make sure that you definitely have a consistent inner momentum happening. But the only way that can happen is if you release and then you allow your body to make room with the pangs, the passions, the inspired action that's coming through, and you have this safety and self-trust to move forward with it. And that is what fills the stagnation, because the lymphatic stagnation, it starts on a soul level. It's a soul stagnation. It's a wake-up call, as in, hey, you are not listening to me. Let's move forward in this way. So it is that beautiful co-creation of releasing control, of trusting, of moving forward. So it's the releasing, but then the forward motion, the releasing, but then the forward motion. See how that creates a natural momentum, a natural spin within our body. And that is what collectively our lymphatic system and drainage pathways are calling for right now. And before we finish up today, thank you. Before we finish up today, how does this relate to our beautiful planet, to Mother Gaia, to Mother Earth? It's interesting. I'm being shown that it doesn't correlate to one aspect of her. It is very vast, I'm going to say, and it is almost overlaying on so many aspects of the earth that we are experiencing right now. You know, we can look at, you know, the stagnation within rivers, all of the plastics, all of the gunk that is being stuck there. But then we can look at the atmosphere, the air, and the pollution, the lack of natural nutrients within the ground. This feels very vast. It feels like a lot of the gunk that is being held onto is because our lack of of a lack of inner momentum, a lack of inner processing, of inner releasing, and then filling that spot with something else. It feels like collectively right now we are slow to take action. Okay, we have so much information, we have so many truths, but what are we individually and collectively doing about these things now? There feels this inner stagnancy on a macro level also, because if we are not listening to these inner pings, these inner inspired actions within the body, that then have a ripple effect, a ripple effect throughout the earth, throughout the collective of humanity, throughout the cosmos. We're causing this stagnation that's happening at the moment. So the message that I want to leave with today is, it's not forever about releasing. It's not forever about optimizing. We have to fill that spot. And this is what the lymphatic system wants to tell me today and bring forward to the collective consciousness today. That the letting go, the releasing, the optimization is fantastic. But what are you filling that empty space with then? Thank you so much for coming on this journey with me today. I am super excited. I want to hear all. I want to hear about your takes on it. I want to hear about the resonance that you felt. I want to hear about what you're experiencing in this bodily system right now yourself, because these journeys are going to reveal a lot to us, a lot about our own biology, about the interconnectedness with the planet, and about the multidimensional self. Because the body is the foundation, the body is the map, the body holds everything. So we need, as I think, collectively and as humans, and this is really, it feels like the next step that has to happen in the spiritual community. We have to understand our body more. We have to understand the map of our body more and what we're truly capable of. I'm so excited to see you guys next week, and make sure you check out my remote viewing, because I have a feeling it's going to be connected to today's journey. I love you guys so much. Thank you for the support. Thank you for being here.